Hey, what's going on, folks? Cordero Simmons back with another episode of KS Aquatics. Please, first and foremost, forgive me. I know it's been forever and a day since I've dropped a video, which always happens. But guys, I've been busy. I've been working. The fish lab hasn't been doing too good. So I'm about to fill you in on pretty much everything that has happened. Let's go. Okay, so as you guys know in the last video, I kind of have had my setup down here in the basement ever since I moved here, but it hasn't been too solid. It hasn't been exactly what I wanted it to be. So I pretty much had to revamp everything. I got these bins holding materials and whatnot. I don't know if I mentioned my betta bowls that would be up here. You know, apparently, clearly, they are all somewhat not doing too well. I think my cleanest one is actually this one here, and I still need to plant a few things in it. But I mean, it's cool. This was actually supposed to be like one of the best ones I was gonna scape, but as you can see, I kind of just threw everything that I had still living in here so it can stay alive, and now hair algae is everywhere, and I gotta like sort through it and clean it out. And I got some pond snails in there. That's where all that waste is coming from at the bottom. So yeah, that tank is pretty much taken over already, and I didn't even get it scaped out. But however, the lily is growing. You guys see this? Look at that. Oh, that is awesome. Those pods were dry for a minute. They actually thrived at one point, and then they died off, and then they came back. So I'm happy about that. You guys, I literally haven't had the time like I would like to, or like I used to have back when I originally started this channel. It has been rough, I will say, because I have lost, once again, a bunch of fish, but I still have some. So I'm gonna go ahead and just run down the line of what I still do currently have. I saved 3 glowfish from someone who wanted to get rid of them, so those guys were free. So as far as the guppies go, I never separated them. However, I did move everyone to this top 10 gallon, you know, with some duckweed, some anacaris, and some rotala indica. They are hungry, they want to be fed right now, but they weren't doing too well in the 40. So I netted everyone out and I moved them up top, and I moved my geos down to the 40. I actually had to remove these guys from the office. One of them died. And I don't know what exactly went on with the tank at the office, but it completely went to, like, I kid you not. I lost all the Jack Dempsey cichlids, and that was actually some time in between. I want to say like a month to 2 months went by, did a water change and everything. Don't know what happened. The 3 ropefish and all of my bashirs are still in that tank, but for some reason normal fish just do not thrive. And I know for a fact it's not that they're getting picked on, it's something in the water. Wow, I just startled them. I don't know if you guys just saw that, but yep, those are my cories that I still have, the skunks, and I think 1 or 2 emeralds. These are actually Emmanuel's orondas, happy little fish. And there's my Dojo Loach. This is the cold water tank. I originally had everyone in the 55, but the filter stopped working. I know how you guys feel about Aqueon filters. I shouldn't have had it in the first place, is what some people would say, but that filter lasted me like a good 2.5, 3 years. So I want to say I got my wear out of it. And the same goes for this one. This tank is just holding driftwood right now. The filters just stopped working. I did water changes one day. I went to plug them back up. They didn't come on. I messed with the hang on back. I mean, not the hang on back. I messed with the actual filter that you click off itself, and nothing happened. I pulled the impeller out, I cleaned the magnet off, and they just wouldn't work. So you can say I got all of my wear out of these things. My goldfish tub is still here. The water's a bit cloudy, of course, because they're goldfish, and everyone's hungry right now in this tank as well, but I will feed them later on because I'm actually home a little early right now. Picking back up, I know I'm all over the place, but picking back up, I got these black skirt tetras who also belong to Emmanuel. I had my bumblebee catfish in here, but I know for a fact I lost 2 of them. There's one you can see. I'm gonna have to like come back with my phone and like zoom in. But I think I only have 1 or 2 bumblebee catfish now. I picked up some green tiger barbs. Of course, you guys know I love the color green, so these guys were just hollering out to me. They are actually holding on. Hold on, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 12. I originally bought a dozen, and I only have 8 now, so I want to say those are the 8 that are gonna be the ones that thrive. Got a bunch of Pristella tetras. I don't know why everyone is so shy today. Typically, everyone is like in my face, kind of like how the barbs and the guppies were, but that's not the case today. The Pristella tetras are all the way in the back. Once again, I'm gonna have to come back with phone footage. And then I have these Bashirs and my ghost knife in this tank. So yeah, still have those guys up, and I do have the jewel turquoise cichlid still. He still hangs out. Him and the Synodontis were getting into it, so I had to separate the 2. And the other day, or like 2 days ago, I was actually cleaning up down here trying to get everything ready for this video, and I found the Synodontis on the floor underneath the rack. So I don't know how he jumped ship, or I know how, but I don't know why he jumped ship when he was in a clean tank and he was getting fed and whatnot. Like I was saying earlier, everything hasn't quite gone the way I hoped it to have been when I moved into this house, simply because I've been working, simply because I've just been so busy, consumed with all the other things that you got to do when you get a house and you're trying to maintain and stay on top of the bills and whatnot. I'm not happy to say that I lost some fish. I know there's probably somebody I'm leaving out other than the Jack Dempseys, the Geophagus. Oh, I had a friend of mine give me a silver arowana. I was so devastated, and I should have tested the water in the 125 before I introduced that arowana to the tank, but the water was pristine. I did a water change. It was crystal clear. I've been in the hobby since, 2017 heavily, I would say. I started in like 2012-ish, but I really got into it in 2017. So, I got this, but that was not the case, guys. Please, when you're experiencing something, do a water test. Don't just change the water and think everything's back to normal, because it might not be. I had fish in there who were showing perfect signs of good health, and all the other fish were dying and they weren't being attacked. So you just got to test your water. And I'm saying that because I still haven't done so. Ever since I lost that arowana, I have just stepped back from that tank. I don't want anything to do with it right now at this moment until I find out what is going on. So I still feed my Bashirs and the ropefish. They're perfectly fine. But as far as other fish, I don't know. I'm probably gonna have to drain that entire tank one day and let it sit dry for like a month before I introduce water to that tank again. So there's that. I went on and on and on. I also have this mountain of tanks right here. There's like 40s, there's 5.5s, there's 29s, there's 20 longs, there are terrariums, there are aquariums. And this here is tortellini, a little baby leopard tortoise that I'm babysitting for one of my friends. Of course, he like threw lettuce everywhere, moving around, but he ate up all the fresh stuff. I'm gonna clean his water dish out pretty soon. But yeah, he's hanging out with me for like a week. This guy here is like a little old man. I guarantee you I'll come down here like 8 o'clock and he's already like stretched out, sleep, eyes closed. Like, dude, you live the life, don't you? But yeah, equipment on top of equipment. This is an old 15-gallon high tank that I got from one of the old teachers at my middle school. I wouldn't say she was one of my teachers, but she was a well-known teacher because I was in band with her oldest son, and then her daughter played basketball. So, one of those type deals. But anyway, this tank will be named Kennebrew. This will be the Kennebrew tank once I finally revamp it. I don't know, am I gonna put my Ember tetras in here or get some more, or will I do like a South American dark waterscape? where I'll have like cardinal tetras in it with, you know, a bunch of leaves and driftwood and whatnot. This tank here is a 6-gallon cube, I believe. So disappointed because my scythe fell on it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I said my scythe. I do a whole bunch of other DIY projects. So if you're into people making things, miscellaneous product reviews, vlogging, one-wheeling, just anything you can possibly think of, yeah, that's my other channel. Check that out. It's the Cordero Simmons channel, and subscribe if you're into those kinds of things. If not, then just stick with KS Aquatics. Moving along. I'm going upstairs now. Oh, might as well show you guys the workshop since I'm down here. So this is where I do all the other things on the Cordero Simmons channel. I got a little TV monitor. Well, actually that's a computer monitor with computer speakers that I have plugged into a Apple TV device that I look at when I'm actually like working on this bench and whatnot. I have actually my wood cutting area over here. I don't cut wood over here all the time, but you know, miter saw, table saw, all my wood is neatly stacked over there and whatnot for ease of access. And lumber is pretty dang high these days, so you just gotta hold on to everything you got. But nevertheless, you guys go check that channel out if you want. If you want. Oh, excuse me. Getting upstairs. Whew. On the main floor. Oh, Spike is out. What's up, buddy? Oh my God, there's a cricket on your head. He's on your back. And now he's gone. What's up, dude? He's like, what kind of relationship is this? I guess, you know, like, if you don't want to be eaten, just stay where the mouth can't go. But yeah, guys, Spike is my bearded dragon that I inherited a couple months ago. And he's pretty cool. He likes it in here. He just chills. He gets pet and whatnot. He's a good boy. He sat on my shoulder a couple of times, but not all the time. He has some pretty long claws, and I gotta look up how to cut those things because they are sharp. Like, I almost pull them off my shirt, and there's always one little claw just stuck, and I gotta like go up to the side, back, and then finally he gets off, and then by that point he's agitated and he's trying to like squirm out of my hands, and it's back in the tank, buddy. Anyway. The scorpion tank is still here. Crickets are doing their thing, I guess. Let's see if I can show her off. Yep, there she is. And she actually had babies, but they did not make it a little while ago. There's a little lizard that my brother found, and he's just been hanging out for like a while now. He chills. He eats the crickets, I know for a fact. He lives a lavish life in there. The 55-gallon, I actually just had to scrub this tank off the other day. As you guys can see, I got some CO2 pumping off in there, doing its thing. So hopefully within a couple of days or weeks, we might start seeing a difference in just how these plants look. I mean, there is some new growth on these things, but I want to say that's a standard thing. If the ones in the back can start taking off again, I'd be so happy because those are the ones that actually have red leaves and whatnot. Going over to the cube, man, oh man, this thing has suffered. I mean, it looks okay now, but way back, I want to say maybe just a month ago, this algae right here was everywhere throughout the tank. I literally had to stick my hand in here, swirl it around, and pull everything out. Kind of like I'm gonna have to do again with an old toothbrush, just so I can catch everything before it gets out of hand. I think I'm down to like one Cory. My white cloud minnows have diminished. Whoever you see in here is whoever is left. I know for a fact I had about 15 of them at first, and now I'm down to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. Hopefully I'm just gonna say they reached their limit on life, because I know I've had these guys for like 3 years now, at least 2.5, 3 years going on. I don't know how long they live, but Hopefully that's just the case, because I mean, I never really experienced any problems with this tank other than algae, you know, growing out of control. So there's that. I don't know if there's anything that I did not cover that you guys wanted to see or know about. The backyard, that'll be a whole nother segment, because I still have to plan out putting a pond in my backyard and the front yard. When before I only had one, you know, tiny in-ground pond, and now I still have the tubs on top of, you know, it's time to get something going. So until next time, folks, peace.